Hi again. Sorry about that. So I guess I was in the wrong part because the people that usually run the technical stuff were like, "Oh yeah, you got this. You've been doing it." And I was in the wrong page. I was on our other our church page or something, business page. I don't know. I was on a different one. So I'm so sorry I was in the wrong spot. Um but now we're at the right spot. So I can see Susan's here and Maria. Thank you, Maria, for going to the right spot since, yeah, it took me a minute. Hey, but now I learned, and so it's all good, right? As long as you learn from your mistakes, it's great. So I learned something tonight. It was awesome. So, and there's Corinna. Hi, Corinna. And there's Cameron and Pastor. All right. So I think we're getting this right now. For those of you that are going to be popping in, sorry, I messed it up. So I'm going to go ahead, and there was only a couple of you were on that I'm going to start again, but I'm not going to delay as much to be able to get going on this. Um, I waited for like people to join in on the last one. I won't wait as long this time because I'm now late to what we should have been, and hopefully they'll pop in here pretty quick. Anyways, so this week, God has been speaking to me in the craziest way, and I just have to share it with you because I've been praying for like direction on what to speak every week because usually it's once a month, right? And so, you know, I don't know about you, but I know that this COVID-19 is huge and it's what everybody's talking about. But I didn't want to talk about COVID-19 anymore. Not that I don't want to talk about it because it's really important and it's what we're going through. But I feel like we need a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of different excitement, focus a little in a different way. So I've just been praying for God to speak. And he spoke such an awesome thing. Now I have to give you warning though. Um, when when I start thinking, my brain kind of thinks like all over the place. Like I start one thought and it somehow triggers something else, and I think, and before I know it, just got this swirly mess of thoughts that are all over the place. That if you heard like, oh, I was thinking this and it caused this and that and this, well, okay, most people would go, those things don't have anything to do with anything else. Like, how did you think of this one thing after that thought? That doesn't make sense. Well, my brain works weird like that. And so, yeah, just follow along. It'll be great. And you can always rewatch this, right? So if you're not following where my thought went, you'll be able to catch back up, and it'll be great. So, this week I have been very busy, and oh, Virginia, you made it back. Thank you. Yay. Um, I've been very busy at church, and as some of you were on last night, and somebody had made a hi, Karen, had made uh, a comment that I was busy painting. I have been painting all week long and not a mural and not a canvas or anything, nothing like that. I have been painting walls, just painting walls. And I was like, okay, so that's great that, I can go ahead and I can paint walls, and I've liked painting. There's something about starting with a blank wall and just putting a color on it that kind of, it's fresh, it's new, it's exciting. And I was thinking, this is great. And I really like painting. I like painting walls. Now, I don't want to do it every single day or for several weeks. I'd like to paint a wall and then I feel accomplished and I've done something. And so I'm painting and I'm like, okay, God, speak and give me something for this week so when I talk on Thursday that I got something more than, wash your hands and stay away from others and do the right thing. I was thinking, come on, God, you got this. And it's Holy Week. And I thought, okay, God's gonna speak. And and I wanted to talk about Holy Week. I wanted to talk about like the events of this week. And then I was thinking, but I haven't been doing anything except painting. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I'm speaking, I like to like apply it to things that I've been doing or things that I've come in contact with or things that are relevant. And so I was thinking, how is this like Holy Week and painting? How does this even go together? Well, I'll tell you how. Painting, just to paint these blank walls, just to paint these walls. Okay, so you need a plan. You cannot just walk in a room and start painting. Like there's so much planning that goes into this. I had to go pick the color. Then I had to make sure I got supplies. I had to go get drop cloth and you got to get brushes and rollers and all these things. And even though my plan was good, I like know what I'm doing, I know the color, I got all this stuff, I'm great, I still didn't have everything I needed. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like I needed paper towels because I was getting paint everywhere and I needed paper towels and it's fine. Like I needed more stuff, that's fine. But then I was thinking, I was like, wow, you know, Jesus came into this week and he knew everything that was going to happen. Like he had a plan, even though he wasn't like mapping it out and saying, okay, on, Monday I'm going to do this and on Tuesday I'm going to go here, Wednesday I'm going to, turn the tables over in the temple and I'm going to he wasn't doing that. Didn't tell anybody like, hey, this is going to happen. But he had a plan. He knew his ultimate goal. And when I started thinking about that, I was like, wow, I can apply painting a wall to Jesus's Holy Week. This is incredible. So I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, so what did God do? Like, how did he do this? Well, think about it. He had such a plan that he had to make sure that that donkey had a baby at the right time so that it was grown enough to hold Jesus on the foal. Like that baby donkey had to have been born at just the right time so that it was still a baby or still a foal, but able to carry him. Um, there had to be palm branches. There had to be things. There had to be like everything had to fall in line. The person who had the donkey had to be willing. I mean, I'm thinking right now, I'm like, okay, so if I'm at the car and somebody walks up and says, hey, you need to give me your car, I'm just going to go, what? And if they told me because um, Jesus has need of it, like I'm supposed to just give him my car? Wow. So the person had to be willing. And I was like, oh my goodness, Jesus, you are so amazing. Like you have everything in line. You had this planned perfectly. Like you had to orchestrate everybody being in the right time at the right place in the right moment and with the right heart. And I was like, wow, this is so great. This is so awesome. So it was a moment for me that I realized that, there was more to Holy Week than just palm branches and a donkey. And there was so much more that goes into this. And so as I've been painting and I've been thinking, I'm like, you know, that whole week, like all of the events that were leading up to Friday, because remember the whole week, a lot goes in, right? A lot happens in a week. So now I was like, okay, so on the Last Supper happens. Well, okay, that's a whole nother piece of planning and a whole nother um uh, whole nother just e- extreme thing that happens. We eat dinner, right? We eat dinner and it takes you an hour maybe to cook dinner because remember I'm not the one who cooks, but an hour and a half to cook dinner and then it's gone in 15 minutes. But when it's a special meal, How much time do you put in to preparing a special meal? Like when we're preparing an Easter dinner, that's like an all day process. And Jesus sent the disciples because they said, "Hey, where are we going to prepare our Passover meal?" And he says, "Oh, just go in. There's a guy holding a jug of water. Talk to him, and he's going to tell you where to go, and it's already ready." Like somebody was preparing a place already. Did they know? I mean, it's not like they had email or text. It wasn't like Jesus, texted him, "Hey, could you set up your house for us? I'm going to be bringing my 12 disciples, and we want to have dinner at your place." It wasn't like that. But so this person is preparing the room and preparing a place. And when the disciples walk up and go, "Hey, we're here. We want to prepare our Passover meal," the guy's like, "Oh, here it is, and it's all ready." I just think, wow, God had such an amazing plan and how everything was so orchestrated. And it was just awesome to reread this. So I was like, okay, then now this is where like all of the crazy thoughts get going. So I'm thinking, okay, great, lots of plans, lots of preparing on Jesus' part, God's part, totally every single detail taken care of. Okay, great. Um, how about like then my brain started going, why? The why questions. We've all been around a 4-year-old and you answer the why question and then they have another why question and another why question and it just keeps going forever until you're like, stop asking me why. Well, I was doing that in my head. So why? Why why Friday? Did they only crucify people on Friday? Did they only like hold court and that was it because it was Friday? Why 3 days? Why 3 days? It just started like all of these questions are going in my head. Like, why 3 days? Like, you can take in a number and being a math person, you can take a number and make it apply to like different scenarios. Oh, 3 days because of the Trinity. Oh, 3 days because that's how long Jonah was in the belly of the great fish. Why 3 days? What is the significance of that? And I started thinking about these things and I was just like, you know, there's some things that maybe I don't have to have every single answer for, and that's okay because there's a lot of things in life that we don't have to have the exact answer for. We don't have to know every detail right now. And so I was like I was doing this why, and so I was writing down my whys. Why 3 days? Why on Friday? Why rise again on Sunday? Why do it this way? Why crucifixion? Why that? That's horrible. Why? But then I started thinking that maybe the why isn't as important. Maybe the why these things. It's about what. And Jesus was doing all of these things for us. And he was doing them as an expression of love. And I thought, that's so awesome. Why am I painting this wall? Because it's what I do. I like to do things. I don't like to sit. I'm not a movie watcher. I'm not big on that. I like to be moving. I like to be doing something all the time. And so for me, painting is an opportunity for me to do something and be busy and I got to be alone with my thoughts and I'm getting to kind of learn a little bit more about me, which is something exciting. And I'm thinking, wow, now the Holy Week has been big in past times in my life. Um, because it really makes you consider what Jesus is doing and what the end of this Holy Week really represents. And because of that, usually this week is one of those weeks where I'm very contemplative. I think a lot about like salvation and I think about the why and I think about what Jesus did for me and why he would die for me and why he would go through this for me. And it makes you almost want to cry because you're like, I'm not worthy enough for somebody to take that place, to take my place, and to do what he did. And see, now I want to cry. But painting a wall, do you see? Painting a wall, eh, normal people wouldn't say it makes you think of the sacrifice of Jesus. But for me, it did. And it's not that I'm sacrificing anything. It's not that I'm doing anything dramatic or out there. It's just the way it makes me contemplate and makes me think about the things, the greater things in life. And when the end of this week comes and we celebrate the resurrection because Jesus is alive and we're able to like get to that end peace. What do you think Jesus was thinking? I mean, I know that on the cross he was thinking about all of us that he was taking this stand for. All of us that he was taking the place of. And when I think of that and I'm thinking, he was thinking of me. He was on that cross thinking of me. He was on that cross thinking of you. He was there and he was in that place knowing that you would be someday worshiping him and you're going to be in heaven with him forever. That's humongous. That is like the biggest thing. And it's probably one of the most important things that you could come to understanding. And so I hope that you're taking this time, this isolation time, because remember, painting is isolation for me. I'm kind of alone with my own thoughts um, when I want to be. Otherwise, I'm busy listening to music and worshiping. But it's an opportunity for us. So we really can take this time that we have set aside, um, regardless of the circumstances of why, and really think about like the why. Why did Jesus die for you? Why why did he do that? I know it's because he loved us, and we will never do anything to deserve or replace or to make up for. But he did. He still did. And I'm so thankful that he did because that's why we get to do what we're doing. That's why we get to be online right now talking about Jesus. When it's all said and done and the dust settles from all of this and we get back together, it's why we get to gather together and be at church together. And it should be the whole reason of why we do the things that we do. So just know that, you know, in everyday normal life, you can look for things that help you think of Jesus. So my just painting turned into this why and the how this small really it's not super important. I mean, it'll look nice. Well, I think it'll look nice. It'll look nice, but it's not absolutely necessary. There was already paint on the wall, but it's something that I needed to do. And it's only to give me this understanding of why, of why. And I'm like, this is great. I absolutely love it. Um, one of the other things I thought about, and this is gonna be like the takeaway for tonight. This is your big one. So, in my plan for painting a wall, I am a kind of person that, like, it needs to be done right, and it needs to be done systematically, because I'm kind of a like, do this piece, then do the next piece and check it off. And when I am painting, I am big on like the edging. You need to go along the edge first and like put your edging and do it nice. And I'm not a tape user. I know there's people that use that blue tape and tape things off and have the perfect edge. I'm not. I am a freehand. So I do the edging, and it's time staking, it, time time sucking, and painstaking. There you go. That's what it is. And that's how I do it. And then after I have my edge all done, then I get the like roller, and then I do the rest of the painting. Well, it was brought to my attention that that's not always the way it's done. Some people paint and then they go back and edge afterwards. And I was like, I okay, I've never seen that done. I was like, okay, that's great. Great. But you know what it made me think of? And here's my thoughts again. It's okay to do things different. Yeah, it's okay. Because the end result is the end result. Whether you paint the edges first and then fill it in, or you do the main stuff and then go back and finish it nicely to put those finishing touches on. The end result is the same. And so everybody has their own idea. Oh, and those aren't the only two ways, by the way. There's also, how about edge and paint as you go along, or put some paint and edge that area. You could do that too. So there's all these different possibilities of what could be, like how to make it happen. And everybody has their own way of doing it. And here's your, ready for your mind to, if somebody does it different than you and even shares their idea of how they do it differently, it in no way makes your way any less. Oh my goodness. There was this moment that I almost sat down and started laughing because I was like, I I know that. And you know that you know things, but it didn't hit you always at the right time or the right way. And you know it, but it's just in how it's delivered or how it's brought to your attention that means something. That was it. Here I am. I'm painting, I'm doing it, I'm edging, and I'm told possibly because I didn't have time to do the edging, maybe just fill it in and then go back and do the edging later. And I was like, um, who paints like that? That was my first thought. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, okay, that's okay too, because I guess the end result's the same. But that idea didn't make mine. It wasn't like, oh, you have a dumb idea and here's the best way to do it. It wasn't presented that way. It was just that here's another way. And I thought, oh my goodness, do you know how many times in life we do that? People suggest things to us or they say how they do it, whatever, and automatically we go, oh no, I couldn't possibly because my way is like the only way. It's not. There are tons of ways to do things and to end up with the same result. And just because somebody's sharing with you something, it doesn't take away your idea. It doesn't take yours and go, oh, yours is trash because I'm the only one the right way. It's not that. And I thought, oh my goodness, do you know how many times I've thought that by somebody sharing something with me or telling me some way that I'm like, ooh, they don't like my way. They don't like how I do it, or they think that I'm doing it wrong. It's not. It's not. I mean, there might be people who are thinking that, but that's on them. I was like so excited in myself that I like came to this. So I when I was getting today together and I was doing all this, I was like, Lord, speak to me and tell me what it is that you want me to tell people. Tell me what it is. So, and make sure that, those people are online and they're listening because they need to hear this. And then, of course, that's my plan. And I'm thinking, it's recorded. They can listen to it when they're ready to listen to it because not everybody's ready to hear something just because I'm ready to say it or because God showed me this way. It doesn't mean that somebody right this second is ready to hear that they didn't mean it bad. They were giving you another idea. And it doesn't mean that your thought is any less than anybody else's. Like, wow. So this is going to be recorded. And when that person needs to hear that, it's going to be there. And God has a plan. And He can make every single part of this work out to where the person, just like, I mean, He orchestrated every detail of Holy Week to be exactly what it needed to be able to minister to us today. He can use this to speak to somebody at just the right time. I'm like, this, wow, painting a wall, painting a wall. Can you believe it? It is amazing how God will speak, and we just have to be willing to hear Him. We have to be willing to, like, let Him tell us. Let Him tell us if we're doing it right, wrong, or different. It's okay. Let God speak to you, however that is. It's okay. Because we don't all have to do it the same way. You don't have to have God speak to you in exactly the same way as everybody else. Maybe He speaks to you through music. Maybe He speaks to you through quiet time. Maybe He speaks to you through reading your Bible. Maybe He speaks to you when you're praying. Whatever it is, let God speak to you in your way. And just because you do your time with God differently than somebody else, that's okay too. The end result should be the same. Are you spending time with God? Yes. There we go. Win. That's what it needs to be. It doesn't have to be set up because somebody else does it that way. But we do have to have a plan. And so you have to make a plan to spend time with God. You have to make that plan because there's planning that is required in everything. Everything requires some sort of plan. I'm thinking right now, dinner? Yeah, plan. You can't just go, oh yeah, I want to have steak tonight. Well, if you didn't buy it, if you didn't thaw it out, you're not having steak. You'll be eating peanut butter and jelly. Plan. It requires a little bit of forethought. You can do it. And I know that week one, that's what I said. What is your plan? Make a plan. Don't stay in bed. We got to get up and go. So planning is like what God's been speaking to me for 3 weeks now or so. 4 weeks. Ooh, this is our fourth week. Yeah. Uh, there's just so much. It's happening so fast. Can you believe that this all like really came to Riverside County at the middle of March? We're almost to the middle of April. We're talking a month of this is already going through. God knows. He's got this. So, next point and last point for today. God has a plan, and He knows the why. He knows how He's going to do this. And His end result is His end result. Okay? We don't, it's not our plan. Some of us are probably thinking, God could just get done with this virus and it can be gone. Yeah, He can. But it's up to Him if He's going to, and when He's going to, and how He's going to. That's up to Him. That's not us. We might have to, oh, God needs to get this done so that we can get back in church on Sunday for Easter. Well, that'd be nice. But that's our plan. That's our thought. That's ours. And remember, we each are entitled to do things differently, and it doesn't make ours wrong. So we can hope for that and we can believe for that. But ultimately, Jesus is in control of all. of this. And as Christians, we need to trust his plan. We need to accept it and just trust the process. He knows what he's going to do. He knows how he's going to do it. He knows when he's going to do it. He knows all of those things. And in the meantime, we need to be doing what we're supposed to be doing. And we need to be sharing love. We need to be prayed up. We need to be spending time with God. We need to make sure that maybe it's some people are saying, oh, this is the end of the world. Well, if it is, then we better be ready. Because if we're not ready, what's the point of all this? Get right. Do it right. Make sure your heart's right. Make sure you're doing things right. This is an exciting week. There's so much in it. We need to be ready. We need to be ready. Sunday's going to be good. Sunday's going to be so good. It's Easter. We celebrate. And I know that we're on Facebook right now, and I don't always check my Facebook every day. I've been painting. I've been kind of busy. But I saw a thing and it said, this Sunday, the churches are going to be empty, but that's okay. So is the tomb. Yes, it's empty because Jesus is alive. And that's what we need to focus on. That's what we need to be looking at. That's what we need to be focused and putting our attention towards. We need to make sure that even though we might not be in that building that is church, we're the church. We need to make sure that we're sharing Jesus. We need to make sure that we're portraying Jesus, that we're being that light for others. That's what we need to do. And we need to be ready. Have your plan. Have your plan for Sunday. Now, if you were way planned and you have your cute Sunday dress because you got a new Easter dress or new Easter shoes or whatever, wear it. You might not leave the house, and you shouldn't because you're supposed to stay home because that's what we're mandated to do. But take a picture of yourself so that everybody can see your new Easter outfit. That's okay. And if you didn't buy a new Easter outfit, that's okay because you might want to save up for when we have that back together gathering and buy a we're back together 2020 hallelujah dress, whatever that may be. Either way, be prepared. Do what it takes. Make that plan. So, I've got lots of comments because I've been blah, blah, blah the whole time. And I've got all these comments off to the side. So, yes, Gail, some things got messed up and I was a little not in the right spot at the right time. That's how far back I am in these things. Lots of things going on. Oh, people keep saying Easter's canceled. No. How do you cancel Jesus's resurrection? That's not canceled. That's like saying your birthday's canceled. You can't, no, Easter's not canceled. Maybe going into a church building's canceled. Maybe getting together with outside of your home is canceled. But Easter's not canceled because Easter is a celebration of the risen Savior. We're celebrating. Let's see. I love you all. I see lots of I love yous and oh, all of these things. I'm looking real quick, real quick. Oh, da, 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 da. And all right. So I think I'm good. Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. on YouTube is going to be our Sunday service, and it's our Easter service. Be there, get up, show up, dress up, or don't dress up, and that's up to you because you'll be in your house. But be part of it. And don't forget all of our other services. We have Tuesday morning prayer, 9:30 on Facebook Live, just like this is Facebook Live, and it'll be on the right part of Facebook Live, not like it was tonight. Wednesday nights, hanging with pastors A&J, I think that's what it says on the thing. Um, Facebook Live, and I'm sure Pastor's already brewing with something for next Wednesday. And then next Thursday, which would be our normally scheduled ladies meeting, um, we'll be doing that next Thursday right here at 6:30 also. So tonight, thanks for joining. Thanks for being part of. Thanks for all the encouragement. And sorry about the technical difficulties we started with, but know that you know we're still learning. I'm still learning. I'm not very techy. I'm, but that's okay. We're all learning this. So have a great night, and we will see you. Well, you'll see us. We'll kind of see you on Sunday morning at 9:30. All right. Have a great night. God bless you. Stay strong, stay positive, keep a plan, and know that God's in control. Good night.